Good evening. My name is Kristen Langworthy. I am a resident of East Providence, and I am a graduate student at the University of Rhode Island in the Public Administration program. I will not repeat any of the wonderful data that has been shared this evening, but I do want to emphasize something that I've observed throughout my time following you all in your work the past couple of months. The conversation around communities of interest has been something this commission has taken a great interest in. I think what you are hearing from people throughout this process and here tonight is the expression of the community of interest that is incarcerated at the ACI. I think that community is not here tonight because they are incarcerated, and their voice is being reflected by members of their community, by advocates, by interested people all over the state. We are trying to speak for our fellow Rhode Islanders to make sure that we are equally represented in our government. To a point that has been made earlier this evening by Mr. Tuttle, people's belief in our government, its integrity, its well-intentions to serve the interests of the people. This is an opportunity for this commission to demonstrate that that trust is worth giving, because you have the opportunity to address a wrong, not because it is required of you, but because you can choose to do it. Just because there are other wrongs that also need to be addressed does not mean you should not address this wrong. I would urge the commission to understand, as they would from any other community of interest, that the input that you have received from community members should be directed with respect to the consultants that have been hired to inform the drawing of these draft maps that will be submitted to the General Assembly for their consideration. I think it is an adequate kind of middle ground to say, draw two sets of maps and let the General Assembly decide if this commission feels it does not have the authority outright, which I believe that it does, to give that direction, to draw the maps in such a way that reflects the accuracy of where people are residents in our state. People who are incarcerated do not forfeit their residency when they are incarcerated. They deserve to have their place of representation accurately reflected. These are some of the observations that I've made. And one final point I'd like to make is, if there is no purpose to receiving input from the community about the communities of interest in order to actively shape the maps that are being drawn, what has all of the traveling around the state been for? You would ask people to give you information about their community to build a more accurate map, because the census data is not adequate on its own. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any questions for this witness from any members of the committee?